podcast, and you're listening to the Traveling Pants of a Single Mom. And of course, I have my co-host Tasha.
What's going on?
And Jason was not able to make it tonight. Jason, I will need you to get off of vacation and get back in the swing of things.
Hurry up.
We love you though. And we have a special guest today.
Yes.
Jasmine.
Hi.
She is the founder of a brand called G's Us.
That's right.
So how are you?
Great. I'm nervous, but I'm good.
You nervous?
Yes.
Actually, I'm a little nervous. I'm nervous.
She's nervous too.
And I'm nervous. I was nervous from earlier today. I was like, Tosh. I was texting.
Why is she nervous?
Well, I think because this is our first guest that we personally don't really know, and so
we think you're super cool. Well, I think you're super duper cool.
She found you.
Yeah,
I did. I think she is super cool. So I probably questioned the heck out of you today. Right? Because this is ever since I found your whole brand and everything, I was like, oh my god, I love this. So yeah.
So wait, Tosh, how did you find her?
So, if I can remember, and this is really weird, y'all don't laugh at me. So, I know that there's this videographer that I know. I think his name is, goes by the name of Cheeseburger, whatever. He had some clip up, because you know how you go searching from person to person, you end up in other people's posts and stuff?
Right.
So, he had somebody else's, some little young kid's rap video up. And I think there was another guy there that was rapping or something, and then when I clicked, you responded to the person. You had said something on there. And I don't know if your outfit or what caught my attention. You're like, oh, who's that? Let me click. Probably something you said. Yeah. And I clicked on you, and then when you opened up and I was like, well, what is this?
Yeah.
And then I started scrolling and I started looking at your stuff, and I was like, oh, this is super cool.
Yeah.
And the name, I don't know. Well, of course, we're going to ask today how you got that name. But it just kind of stuck with me. Mm-hmm. And I think because, of course, a lot of you know, because of my whole journey with Christ, and then going from who I used to be and then who I am, evolving into now, it just fit me. It fit the mold. And I was like, okay, where do I need to sign up? How do I join? So to be honest with you, I'm excited today to be wearing my shirt, guys. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I'm finally getting one of them shirts. Okay? Don't worry, I'm having a whole outfit, so I might have to have you a whole sweatsuit, shoes, everything.
Girl, got the hat. It's coming.
I'm already imagining I'm like, let me just do a video with you, a music video. Let me just get up in there. You know what I mean? But I really, really love what you're doing, and I think it's just positive, and I know it's going to grow enormous. It's going to do some enormous things.
I receive
just
it.
Let Christ keep working through you. But anyway.
Listen, girl, yes, I receive it. Listen.
Absolutely.
Keep speaking.
Yes. I like that. Yes. So, and I remember, Tasha, we do the Black Woman Business shout out on the podcast, and each week we're trying to find different business that we're interested in. So she found you, and she came in and she was like, just like she said, she was like, where can I sign up? I want to be a part of this movement and stuff like that. I'm gonna find that episode and send it to you. But it's we do the shout outs at the end of the episode. Okay. So at the end of the episode we did the shout out.
Okay.
But interesting name. So tell us a little bit about you.
You want me to face the camera with you guys?
We're talking. You be interactive.
Okay. So you said tell you a little about me first? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm from Orlando, Florida, born and raised. My story is very long, so I'm not going to get into all of it, but I grew up in a very toxic, dysfunctional household. Mm-hmm. My mom had me, she was about 14. And due to her circumstances and her living situation at the time, she was forced to give me over to my father's mother. And my grandmother basically raised me till I was about 5.5. And then my mom came back when she was old enough, I think 18, and she had my sister. But she came back and got me, and she wanted to be a good mom, and be in my life. But based on how she was raised and the things that she experienced and she encountered, left her really broken. And whatever she went through with my dad's side of the family, which I was a baby, so I don't know what really happened. They just tell me. But based on whatever happened at that time, from I was born till I was about 5, that caused a very strong wall against me and my mom. Not me per se, but my mom toward me.
Right.
And from 5 to about 19, 14-year gap, I really experienced a lot of abuse, like physically, emotionally, everything. I grew up fighting. Never was me. I just had to basically evolve to what my surroundings was. Grew up in the hood, so I know what it's like to, you know, have your lights off, what it's like to see your mom getting beat, you know, what it's like to not have, what it's like to, you know, become something you're not because your environment is forcing you to do so. I know what it feels like to grow up and having to take care of your brothers and sisters and to just not really have a childhood in a way. So just come from a very toxic background, but God is so good and God is so gracious because I'm at age 19. He just set everything up. And my mom went through this period of time back then of always putting me out. So at one point I just got mad and I was like, listen, I'm just gonna leave for real. So that took me on my journey. The transition started there.
Right.
And I moved with my grandmother that took me when I was a baby, my dad's mom. And for about a year or two, well, for a couple of weeks I was homeless. Me and my dad just going house to house, just homeless, still in high school, wearing the same clothes every day. Had to go to school like third period because I didn't want people to see me, you know, but my teachers, they kind of knew, they started peep. So I'm trying to like just give you a little grasp of little stuff, but
it's interesting. So you know we zoned in, like
So but get so much more. I'm just trying to like, okay. So basically, my grandmother was in the hospital during that time period. I was homeless. So when she got out of the hospital, I moved in with her. And from like at the end of 11th grade till my senior year, I lived with my grandmother. But you know, we had a shocking surprise where eventually my grandma ended up dying, and this time. I didn't have nobody. Like my dad was getting ready to face like life in prison due to some accusations that was that he was convicted of, and my mom was not talking to me, my family, nobody, and my grandmother ended up dying, and I just felt like I don't have nobody. Like it was crazy. My grandmother was like my mom. So it was like crazy that I'm like, God, why would you do this to me? Like why she couldn't die with somebody else? Why she had to die with me? I don't have nobody. You know, but God has a plan, and that's why, okay, I'm just going to stay on course. But basically, you know, story short, I went to school, came to college. That's why I'm in Daytona. I went to Bethune-Cookman University.
Wow.
Yes, Wildcats. So, but my journey started my freshman year when I rededicated my life to Christ. And it was hard because this is a journey. It's not you arrive, because none of us has arrived.
It's a journey.
And none of us will never arrive until the day Christ returns and we stand before Him. Because no one's perfect, but because no one really.
Jason needs to be a little louder.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Sorry, I have a very soft voice.
Is this better?
If it's better, just let us know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a very soft voice, so I'm sorry. But yeah, so I rededicated my life my freshman year in college, and that was a roller coaster because I was a baby in Christ, and I never understood the gist of really living a godly and a holy life. I never understood. I just knew I'd never seen young people doing it, and when I finally met someone that was doing it, it was like very exciting. So it's like it's like a I won't even say a tree, but it's like something that grows without being properly positioned or rooted, and it just sprouts. Like it sprouts, but it's no good. And I felt like I gave my life, and I was ready, and I was excited, but I had no foundation. You know, I had no roots. So me and my friends, you know, she's one of them. We all just was excited because, you know, God was doing a new thing. We gave our life to God, and we was just going around the campus telling everybody about Jesus and everything, but still slightly living our own lives. You know, and it kind of got to a point where my sophomore year, I was like, I don't want to be saved anymore because it's too hard. Everybody expects me to be perfect. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm young. I'm in college. Like, I want to have fun. But I never understood the true meaning of sacrifice or literally crucifying your flesh daily and following Him. I didn't understand those scriptures back then, but I understood the gist of trying to live a good life and trying to be pleasing unto the Lord, which we keep going with that too. But anyway, so long story short, I keep saying long story short. I'm shortening that part. That part in life. I'm shortening that part, okay? Because it's long. But so yeah, I just told God I don't want to live for Him no more. I'm done. This was my sophomore year. Like, I just want to have fun. I want to live my life. I love you, but you understand. And you know, when you speak, boy, when I tell you, I've been learning what it means to really, when the scripture says the power of life and death is in your tongue. Oh my God, when I said that, I feel like all hell really broke loose. Like when it was like guys was just coming my way and I was just being tempted. I was like, oh, I love life, you know? Okay, so but I you know, was on a celibacy journey, and then I kind of messed up this one guy, and he did me totally wrong. wrong. And he wasn't my boyfriend. It was just like something that just happened, and I didn't want to feel like what he made me feel like. So I kind of lowered my standards, and I started to do things that was like reverse. So I tried to chase a man that didn't want me, and I didn't want to feel like, you know, a hoe. I didn't want to feel like a hoe. I didn't want to feel like I was that girl, because I wasn't. And I was just like, don't treat me like that, because that's not me. But he was like, I told you from the get-go, like, I don't want a relationship. I'm like, yeah, but I actually lowered my standard and my value. You know, and did something that I didn't even want to do, you know what I'm saying, to please you. And you telling me, I don't care if you want a girlfriend, just treat me right. Don't treat me like that. Be cool with me or something. Don't just not talk to me. Don't ignore my phone calls. Don't do that. But that's what he did, and it broke me. Because I was already broken. I was just learning who I was, but he broke me even more. And then I met another guy. Didn't even like this guy at all, but it's just something about having something, or being, it's something about you never having something or experiencing something in such a way that when you finally get it, you kind of become enticed by it in a way. So the chase that he was chasing me in, it wasn't pursuing, because he wasn't a godly man, but I say chase, it just was different for me. And I was like, okay, you know, I don't like you. He chased me for like 2.5 months, but it just never, no God never chased me that long. Like, I was rude to him and everything, but that situation was like, it was so deadly. Like, I got to a point after a while where I wanted to commit suicide, not because of him, but because of everything that led up, and because of me letting him in when I didn't want him in the first place. So it's a lot that took place in that relationship, situationship, that really broke me. You know, like, I was basically a side chick the whole time. Didn't know he had a girlfriend, and then I found out he had a girlfriend, and yeah. And at that point, that's where I really was like, okay, God, if you get me out of this situation, I know I keep going back, but if you can get me out, I promise you I'll live wholeheartedly for you. And that's what I did. 2016, well, the end of 2015, and then 2016, I really became serious about my walk with God. And from there to now, still made some little mistakes here and there, but I became serious.
Right.
So
yeah, because we're not perfect.
Yeah. So that's the gist of me. I know that was kind of long.
That's fine. This is you. Like,
about you. It's all about you.
So. But what led you to get saved?
Right.
Oh, that's
your freshman year. Yeah, like, what happened in that time that, because were you in church? Like, did you grow up with church?
See, yeah, I left out stuff. See, I was trying to make it quick, but yeah, my grandmother, she was a woman of God. My mom side of the family don't really know God. They, you know, everybody know a God.
Right.
Yeah, nobody, they don't know God. So that's how my mom was. My mom was not Christian at all. And I grew up, and I was exposed at a very young age to things that I should have never been exposed to, from sexual acts, from the environments, to words. A lot of things that a kid should not be exposed to, I was exposed to at a very young age. So my grandmother, I believe God planted that seed in me when I was about a newborn to about 5.5, because he knew the gist of a child being born. And like they say, you raise a child up in the way they should go, and the word of God will never depart from you. And I believe that's what my grandmother did. And she was saved. What made me basically rededicate my life to Christ was just everything that I was going through in my whole life. I just wanted something different. You know, I've always been told that I wasn't going to be anything. I was going to be just like my mama. I'm the devil. I just been told all these things. And living with my grandmother when I was young, and even when I went back to live with her for that year or almost a year, I really wanted to get close to God. I just didn't know exactly how. So before I went to college, funny enough, I told God, I said, you know, I went for real saved, because I used to the lowercase G. I was like, God, I'm going to college. I'm excited. You know, the disrespect. Yeah, God. So I was like, God, you know, I don't know you like that, but I'm like going off to college. I just want you to be with me, and if it's possible, I really want to live like the life that you want me to live. I just never seen a young person do it, you know. I was like, I don't want to go to hell because I don't know how to do something. So I was like, if I could be friends or somebody that actually is living the life that you desire for me to live, like, can you, like,
talk up a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. But I was like, could you allow me to meet somebody that's actually living the life that you want me to live? Because I don't know, but I really didn't understand God answering prayers in a way that I really didn't see it like that then. Right. But when I went to orientation, I met a girl. It was so funny though. I met her, got on the wrong bus. Wasn't supposed to be on that bus because I was late. But they was like,
you supposed to be on that bus.
Right. I wasn't supposed to be on that bus. And I got on that bus because the lady was like, just jump on this one. It's okay. I was like, okay. So I sat down and the girl was like, I like your shoes. I was like, oh, thank you. I'm very friendly. So we just started talking. I was like, what you doing? Like, what's your classification? What, you going to be a freshman? She's like, no, I'm going to be a junior. I was like, oh, you're transfer. Anyways, we just clicked. And she didn't want to put her faith out there so boldly. So when we was getting ready to go to like little parties that night and everything, I was like, I'm going to stay in. The other girls was like, girl, what? We are freshmen. We need to go. I'm like, I'm going to stay in. And she was like, me too. And we just talked, and she was like, I said, I'm really trying to live this life for God. I just don't know how to live it. Right. She's like, girl, I'm a Christian. She was like, I'm like, basically she told me that she was a born again Christian, and she's, you know, not of this world. She's like, I live in this world, but I'm not of it, and I want to live that out. And I was like, oh my God, you're my answered prayer. And from that moment, like, we're still friends to this day. I feel like God was intentional in putting her in my path to get me where He has me now. So that's what kind of led me to get saved again, because I just wanted to really live a different life. I wanted to be effective, but in a positive way that will leave a legacy, but that will also cause me to have eternity. If that makes sense. Absolutely. So yeah, I didn't want to just do what I do. Like I said, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose your soul? I didn't want to just be doing stuff no more. I'm like, I do believe the Bible. I believe in heaven and hell. So where am I really gonna go if I die? Right. So that's where that shift took place.
Nice. So what about, like, have you ever had a moment where you just, even though you like, are there any signs? Because you know with religion, right? A lot of people are like, well, what makes you think it really? What makes you really believe in it? What makes you really think it exists? Have you ever had any testimonies or anything besides the one you just told us? Like anything that's just miraculous, like, you know what, this is true. I do believe it.
So many. I mean, it's so many. I'm trying to think which ones to tell you. I mean, I'm gonna just talk about the basics, the basic ones. Like most people are like, okay, but go deeper, you know. But basically, like I got stabbed when I was 15. Like brutally stabbed and jumped. I told you this quite a lot. And I used to be like the bad one. Like, you know, you ain't gonna pop off at me. You know, so I didn't fear anybody, any size, nothing. I still don't, but I just handle things differently now. Right. But back then, I just would like pop off on people, you know, and not think twice. And the girls that I actually got into it with at that time, we were friends, but we started beefing about petty stuff. They thought it was better than me because my mom would let me do certain things that their mom gave them freedom to do. Because like, Jasmine, you're a young girl. Mind you, I'm older than them. But they just grew up a little faster than me, and they thought they was better than me. And I was like, y'all sad, whatever. But I got stabbed. They basically planned to kill me. And they jumped me. And then I almost died, basically. That's the whole story. I almost died. And not just then. When my mom had me, and they told me when my mom took me to go see my mom's mom, everybody was there, my grandmother, my dad's side, everybody. And my grandmother, my mom's mom, had me, it was at the window. She said, oh, she was looking at the baby, and she had me over the window, like outside the window. It was like, I would kill this baby. Everybody.
Oh my Jesus.
Why'd she do that?
My grandmother is not in her right mind. She hasn't been in her right mind for since decades.
Why they had to? What they should have done?
I mean, cause she's like on and off. She has days when she's kind of okay, and days when she's off. But my mom was young, so she told my mom, "You're not bringing that baby in my house because you shouldn't have been having sex, for one, and two, I don't want nothing to do with it because basically it's out of wedlock and all that stuff." And they brought me to see her still, regardless of the fact. And she held me, and they said she held me over the window. And she was going to drop me. And it was like everybody in the apartment complex was like, Mary, please don't do it. Like, that's a baby. And they was just, Mom said, that's the only time that I almost fought my mom. Like, she was just telling me stories. I'm like, y'all lying. But everybody said that's the truth. Like, you was going to die that day. And, you know, people was like positioned down there, like, if she drops the baby, we going to catch it. I just feel like I'm supposed to die so many times, for one. I've been in car accidents. I mean, my mom got shot at in my face. Like, just so many things that I feel like, you know, was supposed to take me out. But God was like, I got my hand on her despite what I went through. And then I've encountered throughout the years of me being saved dreams of heaven and hell. And it's like okay, that's the reality. Like, okay, I never really started thinking about heaven and hell like this, you know. But He uses people and things that will get your attention. And then I start to see things. Like, I see things now. Like, I see like veils. I see stuff. And I just told my bishop the other day, but this has happened to me even in my dorm, where nobody's in the room, but I feel a pressure sit on the bed, like somebody's sitting on the bed. And I'm like, huh? I get scared. I'm like, I'm not looking. But
I'm just,
you know, and I
came on you.
Yes.
yeah, you know, but I'm like, there's encounters, and what people fail to realize is, you know, despite what anybody believe, I respect everybody, but I'm gonna stand strong for what I believe because I know what I believe. I know it's not without a shadow of a doubt. Right. Most people say you believe because society taught you that, or you was raised like that. No, it's a difference when you've encountered truth.
Yes.
I've encountered him on multiple levels. Like, he's so God that he don't leave it just regular and let you encounter him just one way. He does it in multiple ways to make sure you know that he is who he say he is. And the deeper you go, in him, the deeper and the more revelation he will reveal to you. Right, you know what I'm saying? It's layers. God is he is dimensions in him. And I tell people all the time, God is a spirit. He can do whatever he wants to do. Let's not forget, though, he's a spirit. Right. People try to put these human expectations and limitations on him. I'm like, he's a spirit. Right. You know, so you have to encounter him. You have to have the heart that is willing to receive and be able to accept what he reveals to you. And most people, he has shown mercy, grace in his favor too. Yep. They just
don't see it.
And most of them, and it's because there is a veil over their faces. Right. But even it's so much that God has done in me and through me and shown me. It's so much that I'll be here all night, but I know that I know because of things like that in itself. He sat in my room, we talked, he showed me things. I can talk to somebody like, you seen that? They be like, no. I'm like, you need to see that. I'm like, okay, I'm tripping. Like, I just told my friend on my way back, I was like, girl, we was coming back from Atlanta yesterday. I said, I know I'm not tripping. We talking, having a good time, it's rain. I seen the tree like a man. The tree became like a man. Like, when the lightning hit it, it was a man. I'm like, I know I'm not tripping.
I think what it is when you start to walk in his path, in his way, things change the way you view things.
The way you view things.
Like, even when I had started really getting into when I started like the yoga and reading those books and stuff like that, I haven't been doing it, reading those books like I've been like I'm trying to think of the name. I can't even think of the name of the books right now, but The Alchemist was one of them, and it was like I would see things in a different light. You know, like how I told y'all that one time where I think somebody has said to me, I don't remember, I'll be forgetting everything, but
that's why when you get old.
Yeah, when you get old.
No, I do the same thing.
When you get old, you're like, dang. But it was, I'm just gonna use a different phrase because I can't remember what the phrase was, but it was like basically like choose this path. And like a friend of mine had said in the morning, like, girl, you better, you know, choose this path, or, you know, this is the path we need to, and, you know, I'll hear this in my head like, oh, choose this path. And one day I was going at work, going to the bathroom, and I look up and the sign in front of me at my job, the bulletin said choose this path, and I'm like, dang, you know, it's like, but that it wouldn't have stuck out to me. It wouldn't have made me feel no type of way if at that time my mind wasn't in a certain place. And I think that when you're walking that path, you start to see things, and God revealed things to you that to people you be like, girl, you tripping. You know what I'm saying?
The word says that the things of the spirit is foolish to the carnal mind. Like, the spirit and the carnal, the flesh, basically, the carnal and the flesh can never really understand the things of the spirit because they're contrary to each other. That's why they always fight against each other. The word of God is literally what it says it is. Like, everything that you want to know is in there. But what we fail to realize is that the Bible is not just a book. It's living, and it's life in it, and there's mysteries in Revelation. So most people read it as a book for knowledge. Oh, I just want to know, or I want to understand, let me try to study. But no, the Spirit of God has to really compel you and open up your eyes and take off the veils, because the Bible tells us there are veils over our eyes, and only His Spirit allows us to see the deeper things that are in that. And then that's when it begins to transform you as a person in your life, because real revelation, a real encounter or a revelation of Christ, it requires transformation. It's like I want to this day, because the flesh is so contrary to my spirit, I still want to do what I want to do sometimes. And I can do it. God said, I give you a choice, baby. I'm not enslaving you to do nothing. You can go do what you want to do, but I'm going to be right here in the same place waiting when you come back, because you're coming back. And I'm like, all right. And I tried that before. I'm like, okay, I'll be back. I mean, I'm not going nowhere, Jesus, but I go out there and get myself into something I should have never got myself in. And He just receives us in love. And I'm like, dang, like, it's like I can't just do what I used to do. I'm that hood girl that fought, that literally, I'm very transparent, you know, but was having sex, doing everything I was being bad to do, you know, with no conviction, just my life. I get to live it how I want to. But now I have a life of order, and a life of discipline, and a life of saying, okay, I can choose ye this day who I'm going to serve. Like, I can do what I want to do, but yeah, I'm going to yield myself to the Spirit of God.
Right.
Because in Him, there's more liberty, there's more peace, there's more of a foundation, which I know that I'm building upon. And I'm not like the world. I'm in it, but I'm not of it. So that's what causes me to just be where I am now, the mindset that I'm in now.
So let me ask you a question, since you seem to be very passionate. Okay, so I had a friend of mine that he says, I guess that he's a atheist or whatever, and he said to me, I read the Bible in and out, through and through, or whatever the case may be. And I don't know what book or what verse or what story it was, but it was, I guess somebody did something. I don't know if it was homosexuality, but somebody in the book did something, and I guess God, they called him to the, to the, not the congregation, because it was the community, and they beat him and in front of the community, like, to punish him for whatever act that he did. And he was like, the guy was saying, like, what God would do if God is love, if God is, compassionate, if He's caring, why would He humiliate? Can't say the word right now. A human being. Why would He have them come out for the whole community to see, for him to get beaten? And I was raised in the church. However, I'm in that place where I'm so, waverly, like I'm confused. I'm definitely not walking the walk. However, things like that, it makes me think. It makes me think, like, well, you're right. Like, if God is, so love the world, you know what I'm saying? That He can, why would he humiliate? What's the word? Humiliate. Someone like that, or like when He wipes out a whole, city, stuff like that. What would you say to that? Because, like I said, I'm waverly, you know what I'm saying? And so things like that, it makes me think, like, dang, why would He do that? Like, what's your take on, like, stuff like that? Like, what would you say or feel like the reason why God would make things?
Okay, so I want to first say that, like, I'm not a condemning person or judgmental person. So, like, I'm gonna just say this because sometimes some things you say can come off offensive. Christ said, Paul or Peter, whichever one, they was like, the cross is offensive. So you can say anything or stick up for the cross and people still take it offensive, because it's offensive to stand up for something that you believe in, and that's anything that you believe in. But I'm okay with people being atheists and people being wavery. Like, I don't think that, like, you can't open up and be yourself or say how you feel or ask questions, because I'm all for it. I love, talk. I don't know everything. I'm not God. So I might not have all the answers, but one thing that I come to realize is that a lot of people put so many, what's the word? I want to say, stipulations or stigmas to God, and they don't know God. First and foremost, people that say stuff like that, and this is no disrespect to nobody, but people that say, oh, how can God, you don't know Him. So that's like somebody coming up to you saying, oh, that girl Jasmine, I heard that when she was in college she did so and so. It's like, really, she did that? But you don't know me. You just know what somebody said about me, and that lie can go on and on and on. Even if it's the truth, you still don't know the whole me. So you cannot base that one thing that somebody told you about me as that being who I am. And even if I did do it, you don't know why I did it. Like, I was in a situation where I was a side chick, not on purpose. People talked about it. Oh, you a homewrecker, you this, but you don't know the situation. So you're talking about something that you don't know only because what's being presented to you. So with God, I feel like a lot of people don't know Him. So they so quick to put these stipulations on Him, like, oh, your God is a good God. Your parents could be good parents, but they still have rules. They still have right and wrong ways of you doing something. He's a father, but first and foremost, before He's a father, He's God. He's just, He's holy. So back in those times, in biblical days or before biblical days, things, culture, and life was so different.
Absolutely.
There was no Jesus at that time. He was only in heaven. There was only God speaking and using certain people that He could trust to do certain things that He needed to get across to make the promise. And a lot of people say, well, why would He even let Adam and Eve, do this if he knew they was going to do that? I'm like, because think about it. When God created us, he never intended for us to be slaves.
Right.
Never. Exactly. Never intended for us to be slaves. He wanted us to be friends with him. He made everything. He made everything, and then he made us. After he said, you know what? Like, I want a friend. I want somebody that I can walk with, talk with, fellowship with. I want to give them dominion. I want to see the things that they can do through me. I want them to just be live. I want them to be perfect. I want something more tangible. He could have had animals. He could have had this. He could have been okay with that. He had angels already worshiping him, but he wanted a person to fellowship with. So in that, he saw, he made Adam. He saw that. He's like, okay, I see you looking at these animals and stuff. Like, it's not good for you to be alone. I'm gonna make a relation, because think about it. God does everything. Everything that he does is a domino effect. Right. So when I just think about how it's the Holy Spirit is God. It's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Then it was God in the sense of all three of them. Then you had Adam and Eve. So it's like, it was, you get what I'm trying to say? It was like, it's a domino effect, even when it comes down to all of us. But he never wanted us to be slaves. So he never kept the knowledge of them knowing, like, okay, he could have just said don't eat. He could have just said nothing about the tree. He could have just said just don't. Y'all can do what y'all want to do. And I promise you, if he would have said that, they would have never touched that tree. Yep. But because he told them specifically, listen, y'all can have everything else, but please don't touch that, because when you touch that, people think, okay, good and when he says you're gonna know the difference between good and evil, they think it's just like destruction. No, you're gonna know everything that I know that I'm trying to protect you from is gonna become exposed to you. Right. And I just don't want you to have to deal with all that, because you're gonna be enticed by it, because you are a flesh, you are a being. So when they ate of that flesh because they was deceived, everything from homosexuality to lust to killing to everything that you can think that we know now became alive to them. So in that, humans from that day forth had their own ways of doing stuff. But because Jesus was not yet here, God had a way he did stuff. And I know it's not right, because God told me to start over, so I'm in the Old Testament now. And I'm like, Jesus, this stuff kind of like crazy, man. You did all of that. But see, one thing I was like, God, why you did all of this? Like, it wasn't to me, it felt like you could have just like ended it then, in Sodom and Gomorrah. You could have just ended it then. Like, you could have ended it in the garden. Like, why didn't you just stop it? Why you had to keep killing and doing this and doing that? Right. But see, what he wanted people to see is that how much he loved us. Like, John 3:16, it's such a simple verse, but it's so prevalent and it's so serious. God is saying, I love you, to the point where anything around you that was devouring you, anything that was around you that wasn't right, like he was at that, like in older days, he had people kill kids. That's just how he operated then. Why? I don't know. But that was way before like biblical days. That was at the beginning, like at the beginning. That's but he came down. And because and it's like, even though he has the knowledge of everything, he still wanted to see, like, why do humans, he said in the Bible, I regret that I made humans. Like, I regret that I made y'all, because I really made y'all to be like these created beings that's going to prosper and do all these great things for me, and we can fellowship together and we can do all this. But no, y'all are choosing your own way. And that God said that hurt him. You hate, he used the word hate. You hate me, so you're basically, I'm just going to give you over to your own destruction. And some people, he give them over to a depraved mind, which means a reprobated mind, a mind that's going to keep you believing what you believe. Because like, for instance, and this is no offense to nobody, but I'm saying, like, for instance, if we talking right now, and you say you wavering, and if you don't go home, like, kind of thinking about what we talked about, or thinking about this, me and this shirt, like, I just still don't get it, like, I don't know, but something keeps pulling on you. That's the Spirit of God trying to tell you, like, if you let me in, I can answer some of your questions. And sometimes God is God. He don't have to answer nothing. He can just love you to a way where he can say, I'm going to get you to a place where when you look back, it all makes sense to you then. And everything won't make sense, because we're not God. But our mind is so intellectual. Look at God. Like, we come from him. He made everything. I told God this morning, I'm like, everything but us, but creatures, are still obeying you from the very beginning. From the creation of the world. From everything, from the sun, the stars, the moon, the sun, everything is still obeying. I never thought about And I'm like, but we
are the ones that's tampering with it.
And I'm like, we are, because that's what I'm like, God. And like, people say, well, I'm like, so why God haven't cursed you yet? Why he haven't killed you yet? But you don't even believe in him. You cursing his name right now, and he sees what you're doing. So does that make him less real, that he's not taking your life from you right now? No. Because when Jesus came, he meant what he said, it is finished. So he's giving anybody the opportunity to come to him. He don't care what you do. He don't care who you are. Come to me. Right. If you want to know me, come to me. But some people say, I tried all that. I read the Bible. I meditated. I'm like, but God knows your heart. Right. He said, who knows the heart? He tries our heart. He knows it. We don't know ourselves like we think we know ourselves. And I'm like, that's why people that claim they're Christians or they live in this life, they can go out and do something without feeling bad. Like, I can be like, I'm praying at church, but I'm about to go over here and have sex. I'm about to go over here and do all this stuff. Not knocking people that did that, because I did it too. But what I'm saying is there's no conviction there. There's no real relationship there. But when you start to build on that, like if after today we build a relationship, when this take off, because I believe in your vision. I believe in people's vision. When this take off, or when Jesus take off, and we sit somewhere higher than where we are right now, and I'm like, God, like, remember we talked about this, and that, third? It's like, it'll make sense because we built a relationship. Right. So we start talking from this point on, like, I know more about you, you know more about me. So when we get to that place, it's like I met her in her house, but we talked about this, but we didn't got to this place. It's like that's elevation. That's elevation, and that's relationship. God says, I want a fellowship with you. I want to know you. Like, I don't want. That's why when this girl told me, she told me I was too religious, and I get offended when people say it. I'm not offensive. Like, I don't take everything offensive, but I'm not religious. I'm just somebody that loves God. Right. Someone who knows him to be who we say he is. And I'm like, religion is religious people like the Pharisees was. People that quote the Bible. They live by the Bible, meaning they're so religious. They so quick to point out everybody else is wrong. They're so quick to say, okay, you are condemned. Oh, you're not saved because you're wearing that little dress, or you're not saved because of this. Religious people have a set of practices and rituals that they follow. But a person that's in relationship with Christ is free in him. Not saying you can do what you want to do, but you're free in him.
Jumping around in here.
No, seriously, but you're free in him.
Right, absolutely. Some things you say, I do feel it in the inside. Right.
But no, see, I But no, seriously, and you're freeing him. But the freedom is to literally say, I can do what I want, but I'm not gonna do it. Just like when people say, I'm off that girl, like, I don't fight no more. I'm grown. I can go sleep with Tom, Dick, and Harry. I can go do whatever I want to do. But because I know my God is more good and he's more gracious, and I want him more than I want any of that, I have this thing where he's more important than anything. And that's the whole gist of it. It's because I started to know him. I'm not just hearing of him. I'm not just going to church. I'm not just around people or seeing people or watching a sermon. I have fellowship with him. One day I was in my room and I started speaking in tongues like crazy, and I know what I've seen and what I experienced around me. And I seen myself positioned before James, John, all of them was around me, and I just started to really just like go to another level, because even though I'm saying what I'm saying, I'm tripping because I'm like, God, I'm starting to really know you. There's so many mysteries in you. He just to show you a glimpse of who he is. Just like when he took James, Peter, and John on the Mount of Transfiguration up there, when Jesus basically taking them to another level, saying, I trust y'all three so much that I'm about to get ready to show y'all something. And who came? Elijah, Moses, and God. He's like, okay, Peter's like, dude, like, we need to create tents. Like, I can't believe you showing me this right now. And God told him, hush, basically, like, listen to my son, listen to Jesus. Right. And nobody else knew that. Jesus told him, don't tell nobody else this. But that's what I'm saying. He had followers. He had 12 set of friends, but he had 3 people that he trusted. And you know what I'm saying? That's relation. Not saying that the other disciples didn't have a relationship with him, but it was 3 of them that was so, he knew their hearts. Right. He knew that, I know you're not perfect, Peter. I know you're going to deny me. I know you're going to do all that, but that needs to take place so that everything that's on the inside of you right now can come out, and I can really begin to move in you when I leave this earth. Because if this stay in you, it'll mess up my whole church. Right. You know what I'm trying to say? So God allows certain things to get out before he really just say, you know what, I'm about to come in, I'm about to fill you up. And I'm about to use you. And before he even uses you to be great to people, he uses you in closed doors. Right. He uses you behind closed doors. Like, he develops you. He's maturing you. He's ripping things off you that don't belong. I tell God every day, God, I come against every spirit that tried to attach itself to me when I was in the store today. Because spirits are real, demons are real. I've encountered them and I've experienced them.
I keep telling you guys.
And they are, and that's why.
And they be attacking, especially when you're trying to be great.
They do.
When you're trying to be great,
I'm so serious. I'm telling people, like, when you really do change your walk, and like I'm still in mine. Like, I'm listening to you, girl. I'm trying to hold back water coming out my eyes. I swear to God, because No, because it's it's like it's a challenge. People don't know, like it's a challenge when you're trying to walk in that spiritual life, and you're fighting with flesh. Let me tell you something. Every spirit that you have that's already attached to you.
Hello.
And spirits know spirits. So when you got the sexual spirit on you, when you got the spirit of whatever it is,
virgin lust,
you walk
all type of stuff.
You walk past somebody, and you're like, why did I meet that person? Because that spirit already sees within. Oh, you know you want. Come on over here.
Right.
And you're like, but no. Jesus, oh God, help me. You know what I'm saying? It's serious. It's real. It's real out there, and it's like I tell people, like once I started to like change my ways and try to get like, okay, I'm just gonna go over here with Christ. Let me tell you, it's to the point if I walk on the street, like when you're deep in Christ, like how she talk, like you'll be on the street and people think you're crazy because I walk past somebody and I have a way that I don't even look in some people's eyes now because I see the straight demon. I'm like, oh my God, that's a straight up demon right there, and you feel it. So if I walk past them, I'm not even gonna look in your face. I'm gonna keep straight. Because you could feel me too. You could feel the spirit on me, and I could feel the energy on you. And it's that serious. And I tell people there are walking, living spirits out there. You know what I'm saying? So for all of y'all that never came to my house, that and y'all like, why I never came to your house? Because I don't invite people in my house. Because I'm telling people have a spirits attached onto them, and I don't need your spirit coming on me like it came on Tasha that night. We was in the cabin, okay?
We went on a.
No, anyways, you
What you We went on a cabin trip last year. And everybody who went on the trip, it was all because of one man crew. I think 2 people didn't end up going. 2 of the girls didn't go. But it was all because of a man crew. And we went to, the producer did a trip for us. So we went to the cabins. But I think normally a lot of people, like they pray. I have to get back in there. I don't, like if we go to a certain place, some people be like, I'm going to pray over this space or whatever. We were so tired because we traveled in and then we went whitewater rafting and then we traveled to the cabins and then we had a plan to watch the All Because of a Man documentary. That would be our first time seeing the documentary. So when we went in, we immediately, but when we walked into the house, it had an eerie feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think we were all so tired and just ready to watch the documentary so we can go kind of shower and get to bed. So we didn't pray over our space or anything. So we went to sleep. At this point we did the documentary, but Tasha and I weren't kazoom tight. Like we knew that we connect. So when we did the trip, we was like, okay, we're gonna stay together. And we stayed in the same room. So we sleep, and I'm dead. I know, nobody can tell me that this didn't happen because I was dead tired. You know when you dead tired, you just sleep. And you know what I'm saying? When I knocked out, I was dead to the world. I was so tired. All of a sudden, I'm asleep, and I felt something hold me down. So I'm in the bed, I don't know, some people say I probably was sleeping, I don't know. But my mind was very conscious. And I'm trying to something is pressing me. Finally, when it came off of me, I go wake her up like, Tosh, you feel any type of way? And I forgot what I said, but
like, you up?
Yeah. I say you up. I was like, you up? She was like,
I'm like, I was so tired.
We were so tired, and I was like, but I went on to say something. Her girl was knocked out, so I was like, all right, Tasha, just leave her alone, because I swear I was about to crawl in her bed, but because we weren't where we are now, and it was smaller than a twin bed, I was like, damn, I don't want her to feel like I'm weird. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, son, I don't know what's going on. So she went back to sleep or whatever. So I was like, all right, Tasha, it's over. Whatever happened, it's gone. Just go back to sleep. So I went, so I'm going to go back to sleep. Went back to sleep. And it happened again. And the thing is, I felt the pressure of whatever it was, hold me. And I'm there, trying to get, what's going on, whatever. And that's when I started praying. And I started praying at that point, God, I don't know what's going on, but please, because I've had situations like that happen to me before when I was a kid. It hasn't happened to me in years. But it was never like a long period of time. It's like, oh, you know, and then you just up. But these 2 incidents, it was long. And I was just like, you know, confused as to what was going on. However, I didn't sleep the rest of the night. I had my head peeking out the little blanket, like that was the longest night.
The whole next day, she was
I was traumatized. I was traumatized. They had it was 2 rooms on the first floor. Our homegirl Tiffany, shout out to Tiffany, she was in the other room. Me and Tasha was in this room, and it was a room upstairs. I said, listen, guys.
We went right up there.
We all slept upstairs in that bed.
Shout out to Simone.
Was it 5 of us? Slept in that. I was not playing. I was like, I'm not sleeping in that room again. Like, I know what I felt. I didn't see, but I know what I felt. And I was like, hell to the nah. I'm not sleeping in that room no more. So that was my little experience. Tasha always want to bring it up, but that joint was scary.
They real.
Yes.
But no, it's crazy because people, like, you have mad people that really would say, oh, I believe in demons and stuff.
But you don't believe in
you don't believe in God.
Right.
I mean, it just don't make sense. I say you don't want to believe because a lot of people don't want to believe for a lot of good reasons and sometimes a lot of reasons that just make them feel comfortable. A lot of people don't want to believe because they don't understand how can a God that they heard about be so loving and so this and let all this bad stuff go on and let me get raped and let me get molested. How can you do that to me, God? And I'm like, people fail to realize I'm not knocking anyone's story because all of our story carry weight and it carries treasure in it. But first and foremost, Jesus had to endure everything of the world that none of us could ever even think about enduring or encountering. I don't care, the most traumatizing, brutal, you can be tortured. None of that compares to what Christ experienced when he was beaten, had to carry his cross, sit up on a cross, sit up there, bones ripping for 3 hours, almost thinking that God like kind of forsaked him. And at that moment took his last breath and said that I commit my spirit into your hands. We don't understand that Christ died for all of the things that was going to happen, that was already taking place and that already happened. He endured pain. So we are entitled to pain.
Girl, you know she's about to make me die fast.
We have to. Like, we're entitled to it. That's the inheritance of it. Like, we are his kids. Like, the inheritance of him dying. We are co-heirs with Christ. Like, we have everything that he died for. So even in that, we have to he said those that can suffer with me will reign with me. He's not doing that because he hates us. He's not doing that because he's not real. People have their own choices. Yes, God could have stopped it, but God could have stopped John the Baptist from being beheaded. He could have stopped all the disciples from being persecuted, and he could have took Jesus off that cross. But did he? No. And I'm not knocking the fact that you was raped. People are wicked and cruel, but guess what? God is so good. He loves them just as much as he loves you. Right. People are wicked. People are only wicked because of what happened to them. I don't say wicked as in they're evil. What I'm saying is their perception and their ways are evil, and they're tampered with because we are born in sin. We are born in iniquity, so we are already born subjected to death. But God gives all of us a chance to encounter him and know him. And people say, like the girl asked me the other day, how do you know if you die right now tonight on this road, you going to heaven? I say, I'm 100% sure, not because I say I'm a Christian, but because I know that my heart is in Christ, and I know my cry to him every morning is, God, I don't want to be that person that stands before you and you say, depart from me, I never knew you, you worker of iniquity. I know my stance with Christ when it comes to God. I want to die to Jasmine. I don't want to live. Can you take over? Can you possess me? I want to know you. I'm giving up my life to live for you. I don't do it perfectly, but I'm here for you. Can you use me? And even if nobody knows me, God, you better know me, because when I stand before you, I refuse to hear I never knew you, because I have a relationship with you. People say they pray to God, but how do you pray when prayer is communication? Is God talking to you? Is anything changing in you? Is anything awakening in you? That's communication when you pray. You have to stand still and let God feel you and take away those things that you're coming to him about. People say, I know him because I say, God, listen, this is my situation, boom, boom. And even if God protects you from that situation, even if he protects you from it,
that's how I talk to God.
But even if he protects you, that's God just showing his mercy, his grace, because he's just that good. People say, oh, God blessing me, I'm prospering. No. People fail to realize that God made us very successful people. Everything that you see started on the inside of somebody. So we already have the treasure of life on the inside of us. So when people say God did this, baby, God ain't behind a lot of stuff that's prospering right now, because people just like attach his name because it sounds good. Because if you really knew Christ, I guarantee to you a lot of things that people are doing,
he wouldn't even be blessing with that.
Sometimes
it's not even a blessing.
It's not a blessing, and sometimes it could be a curse, or it's just literally it's a self gratification thing, or it's a self made thing. You could be successful by yourself. It's people that are atheists, but they are mad, rich, and filthy successful. They don't know Christ. So that should show you right then and there that you can be successful without God. Right. Some people feel like I'd rather just say God did it because, you know, it just sounds good or it feels good. But I hated for them on that day when you stand before them and they say, I never knew you though. Like, but God, remember when I was, you know, doing all that, was casting out demons. I mean, even people in the body. It's so many of us that's going to hell. And I say us because we are one. And we're going to stand before him. He's going to say, I didn't know you. I never knew you. You were so entitled and enticed by the ministry that I started in you. You know, that became your God. That became an idol. Or God says he's not a respecter of a person. So what he does for me, he would definitely do it for you. And he said, I give gifts without repentance. Mm-hmm. So people can sing, people can dance, people can heal sick, people can see stuff, and psychics. People have gifts, but they misuse them. Right, so it's like, God saying, I'm not even mad that I gave you the gift. I'm not even mad that you got it. I'm not like, dang, I should never give it to her. He already knew what you was going to do with it. But I bet you that he gave every person the opportunity to know him. And that's my cry for my family. And now that y'all connected to me, that's my cry for y'all too. I'm like, every soul that you connect to me, I don't care if it was a high and by. I need them, God, to have a true encounter with you. I want them to encounter you and experience you in a way where, if God forbid they was to die that day, they cannot say, I just wasn't. No. God was like, my spirit encountered you. And I gave you a chance. Because every person before he come back, baby's going straight to heaven. But every person that comes to a place of knowledge of right from wrong, they're going to have a chance where they're going to say, God, listen, I either knew you or I didn't. It's not going to be I don't know. Nobody never told me, because it's so many hypocrites. God will say, yeah, I know it is. But I remember sending that one person to you that really was my child. And they told you, and I felt it in your heart. You felt a little conviction, but you said, nah, it ain't real. And you kept it moving. Right. That was me trying to tell you that, come. But you rejected me. You know, so it's a lot that people talk about, but they don't know, or they don't understand, because it's too much. And there's so much knowledge in Christ, but let me stop. You can keep. I can keep going.
No, girl. Well, I did. Yeah, no, girl. They loving you. Trust me. They on here like, yes, girl. Preach, power. Like, they loving you. So you go ahead.
Girl, I'll be going for days.
Girl, but I do want to know, how did you come up with your clothing line? Where did that stem from?
So, you know, I'm a server. I work at the Hilton Resort on Beachside. It's, you know, a big restaurant, big hotel. And God gave me last year in July. Remember I told you I got started to get together, you know, 2016. Right. So God started to reveal certain things to me. But last year, 2017, God, one day I was watching Martin, and God was like, he kept telling me text, and I was like, you know, I ain't tripping. Like, I know I keep hearing this word text out the blue. I'm watching my favorite show. Like, I know I'm not tripping. So I kept hearing text, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm tripping, whatever. So I really believe the Lord told me, like, cut off the TV. And I was like, okay. I was just sitting there. I was like, I'm tripping, man. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then God told me basically I took out my phone, go to my notepad, but he was like, take out something to write with. And I did. So he just started asking me questions like, you know, what do you use this for? What is this for? I'm like, God, like, I'm confused right now. What are you talking about? But basically, he gave me TEXT, T-E-X-T, which stands for Tell Everything Existing Truth. And it's rooted in Romans 8, the scripture, when it talks about all creation equally awaits the revealing in the sons of Jesus, of the saints of God. They're waiting for us, creation. So it's rooted in there, and it's rooted also, it's two scriptures, that one, and it's also rooted in Jesus being the way, the truth, and the life, and no one gets to the Father except through him. So I was like, okay, boom, that's cool. And he just began to tell me what he's going to do with it, all this other stuff. So that was from July, like I told you. So from July to like months, I would get so antsy, because I'm like, God, I'm excited. I don't know what you want me to do with it, but I don't want you to think that I'm sitting on it. So what you want me to do? Nothing. I don't hear nothing. I'm like, God, I don't know what to do. I called my bishop. I called different people trying to get some type of understanding. Mind you, God said, don't tell nobody. I still did. Because I was just trying to, you know. And I did, and people was confusing me. And that's exactly why he said, don't tell nobody.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell you guys nothing no more.
He said, don't tell nobody. And I was like, okay. And for months, I really didn't. getting, because I was like, God, what if you take it from me? I'm like, I really don't want you to think that I'm being irresponsible. I just don't know what you want me to do with it. So people just confusing me. I was just like, I'm not gonna tell nobody else because I don't know what to do with it. And then I was at work one day, like it's actually this year. It started like at the beginning. I was at work for a couple of days and I was trying to like figure out how to put text on a shirt. I was like downloading all type of apps trying to make it work and all this stuff, and it was just not working. So I was like, whatever. Then I'm always doing this thug thing at my job. Like I told you, I'm a G. So I'm always at work doing like this little thug walk, and I'm like, y'all, I'm a straight gangster. Like, don't disrespect me, don't try me, but they know I'm being funny.
Right, you just playing.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I meet guests and they're friendly, and I do stuff like that with them or whatever. So I was leaving like this one guest room. Because I walked in there and it was really nice. And then I think I knew them. And they was like, Jasmine, all this stuff. I was like, what it is, people, you know? And I went there, like, what is this walk you keep doing? I said, I'm a straight OG, that's all, you know. They're like, you so funny. So on my way leaving out the room, literally, I seen, like, it just, what's the word? It's not illuminated, but what, like when it comes off of something,
cascade.
Maybe, I don't know, but it's like it basically became big to me.
Right.
And I was like,
a vision.
Yeah,
a vision.
An open vision or something. I was walking just doing a third walk down the hallway, and I seen Jesus. I was like, ooh, that sounded kind of cool. I said, let me write that down.
Right.
See how that sound. And I was like, yeah, I think that's cool. So I called my friend. I said, what you think about this lady? She was just like, that's dope. I was like, girl, the Holy Spirit, I get so excited. I said, the Holy Spirit just showed me that. I said, I promise you, I just left the guest room and it's just like it opened up before me. And just from there, I was like, God, bam, what you want me to do with it? God was like, basically, hold your pants. And he was just basically telling me how text and Jesus, and God, it's a process with God. You can't rush him. He does stuff in his timing. There's a piece here, there's a piece over there, there's a piece back here. God is just, he loves scavenger hunts. He loves hide and go seek. I don't know why. He's just that type of person. He just likes stuff like that. And I think too, I'm gonna just say this: when you're young, you like stuff like that. You know, your kid, you love to like, Daddy, I'm gonna go. He loves to like interact in a kid. I always say anybody that comes to me has to come to me the amount of a child. Because if you're too grown, you can't talk nothing. You know how y'all tell your kids, don't think you're too grown. You know what I'm saying? They think they're too grown to be taught something. But God's like, I need people to come to me the amount of a child so they can understand. So I can teach them. But yeah, that's another story. But basically, he told me tell everything existing, all creation, truth about Jesus. And that's how it connected. But I was like, okay, there's like people like, where the G come from? I'm like, because I'm a straight G. And I always tell people before just that I think God is a gangster, because the stuff that he tell people and said in the Bible, I'm like, God, that was a straight G move. Because you be telling people that, like, you be saying that to people, like, okay, and Jesus was like, did I not just tell y'all? Like, the stuff that he said, I feel like he a straight G. He's about that life. He died. You know, they say, oh, I ride for you, bro. I'm down, I'm down for you, bro. I lay my life down for you. Oh, sorry, somebody already did that. Right. You know, so he a real gangster. Like, he's a G. But with this, it's like God told me that we are not trying to mock or mimic what the world is doing. We're taking back what he already put on the earth, and we're giving it its true form. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, being a gangster and a thug and all that stuff was probably already before what people had made it to be. But it was probably in a different light. But what we do, we take things that the world has basically destroyed or made something bad, and we take it and make it good. Like, I'm not trying to be you, but I'm going to show you that you want to be a gangster. You say you about that life. You rather kill somebody, you want to lay your life down. Well, let me show you how bold and radical I am about my Father. I'm ready to die for him. I'm ready to stand up against any and everybody and proclaim the good news of Jesus, because that's just how bold I am about it. Right. That's just how I am. I'm a G, and anybody that, you know, believes in the brand and follows the brand, it's just all you're doing is basically saying I'm a G, but we are G's for Jesus because we believe. Okay. We believe.
Yes. See, I'm gonna explain it to my daughter. I told my daughter, what I said,
can't we gangster?
No, I said, Jesus, but she just broke it down like G's and then us. So it's Jesus at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
And people do that. Like, people like, that's like Jesus, don't it? And I'm like, and then too, it's like little like hints behind it. It's like little perks behind it, because, you know, God like I said, you know how we all, I just told my friends the other day, I said we all can see things for what they is. You know how that saying, it's not what it seems? For most people and for most situations, it's not. Because the way our mind been programmed, and we've been people say y'all was baptized into religion. Well, you was baptized in this society because you believe a lot of stuff that these doctrines of political and science and all these other things, music, articles and stuff like that, people say about stuff like that, but you don't want to believe something that you just can't resonate with. That's being biased. You don't have to believe in God said himself, you don't have to believe in me. Like, if he was trying to enslave you, don't you think it would be something a little bit more different from giving you free will? He'd be like, no, no, that's like, but he kind of is, because he said that people are going to go to hell if they don't believe in him. I said, no, you're not going to his house if you don't believe in him. You choosing not to be in the house. You choosing not to have eternity. You choosing that. He didn't say, oh, you're not coming. He didn't point you out. He was not showing favoritism. You chose not to accept him. Right. So why would you come to his house?
Right.
If I don't know you, you know how you say you're not coming to my house because I don't believe in spirits? But there ain't no bad spirits in heaven. So you cannot come to his house and he don't know you.
Right.
That's all.
So what y'all, I don't know if Tasha, if you have anything to say about this too, but what y'all feel about people of other religion? Like, people have other, Muslims, whatever the case may be, but they believe in something, but it's just not, what we believe in. Like, I always wonder about that too, like for people who do believe, but it's just, Allah or whatever, whatever other, gods, do they still go to heaven? I mean, I know you don't know all the answers, but these are things that I, think about too. Like, if I chose to be a Muslim, does that take away from me going to heaven? Like, or do I have to be, of God in order? And like, even having different religions, like you have the Seventh-day Adventists, you have Christians, you have
so many
Jesus only, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so many. So how do you know, like, what?
This is what I tell people, and I challenge people. I be like, I put my life on it. Like, and I'm that convinced. Like, if you really come to God with a right heart, because some people say I went, but ain't nothing happened. God knows your heart. You come in just to prove a point. You come in just to basically say you did something, and you're gonna basically make that and turn it into something that you did. But see, when you come to God with a real heart, that's why when people cry out to God, like, I'm fed up, I'm at the end of myself, they have revelation. They begin to change. Certain people's lives begin to turn for the good. It's like, I don't know what happened. I was at my lowest, but I cried out to God, and it comes from there, because it's like God's like, that was sincere. He can resonate with sincerity.
Like, when you say that, I never talk about this, but when I have, my daughter is 15 now, and my last relationship, we tried so hard to have a baby. Like, we tried, and nothing happened. And it's like, when you trying to do something, it's like, okay, your period, they come late, or 2-3 days late, 5 days late, and you get excited, you like, oh my God, it's about to happen, and then they come and you disappointed, and all that stuff. We went through that for a long time. And one day, a period came, and I was so distraught, and I went and I took a shower and I cried. And I said, God, like, why this ain't happening for me? And I cried real tears, and I'm not a crier, but I don't know why I wanted it so bad, and I cried real tears in that shower. It was like I cried out to him, like, God, why? And I swear to you, and let me tell you something. My daughter is 15, and my oldest is 15, and my youngest is 3. So in the course of my life, I've tried between that time. And this one time where I literally cried, like, again, I'm not an emotional person, but that I just felt so broken. I was like, dang, God, I've been trying. Like, why? Like, what's wrong with you? Do I have any issues? Whatever. And I cried out to him, and I swear, like, a few months later, I was pregnant. I never talk about that story, but it always resonated with me. Like, dang, this has been years, like 15. Well, my daughter was she 13, maybe say 13. And here it is, all these years and this one time. And when you said that, it resonated, because that I will never forget. Like, I literally cried. I shed those tears.
I think that's why God allows, when people hit their lowest point, like when you're to the point where you get stripped of everything. I always say stripped of everything, because he has to take everything away from you in order for you to be like, okay, wait a second, who else can I turn to? I think that's when people, you know what I mean? When they have to recognize it, when you have to come to him, there's no other choice. And that's, people will say, well, why I gotta go all the way down to the, because if you have this and that, you can't you're not really paying him attention at that time. You know what I mean?
And it's so sad that people get that low and God helps them and they turn it back on them still. And I'm like, but people don't think about how they do him though. They forget like how people do God. And God has feelings. God says he cries, he gets angry, he's slow to anger. So what we do don't faze him. But if you keep doing something, it's like God's like, okay, all right, I'm gonna just let you go, because right now I don't want my anger to avenge against you. So I'm gonna just let you go, do your thing. But when you're ready, come back to me.
Yeah.
Before he even condemned you, he would never condemn you. But before he even, his anger begins to take over, he'll let you go. Right. Do what you want. Or how parents say, you want to be grown? Go ahead, go. Right. You go and get yourself together.
Come back. Mm-hmm.
And that's just how he is. And when you come back, it's not no, I told you so. It's you ready to
ready to act right?
So I'm going to ask you a question. And I probably never, because I'm going to put myself on blast right now. For the simple fact, and just to hear it, sometimes you need to hear it from somebody else. And you know what I mean? And I have to give you major props, because I believe you are so deep in Christ right now that you're just unstoppable. So I'm really going to throw myself under the bus. And I have to say, so for the past few years, I have every year, right? And this sounds crazy, but I'm trying to figure it out. And maybe this is one of the points I'm not supposed to tell, but I've been trying to figure it out. And I am tired of trying to figure it out. And I know you people don't even want to know my business, so I'll put it on blast. But every year, even my kids have recognized it now. From this time to about November, I hit my face. When I say I hit rock bottom, it doesn't matter what I do. And it's been happening for the past 5 years. I think I could have $1 million in my hand, and when it gets right around August, starts creeping up, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. It's like I get stripped of everything. I start, and I'm like, okay, it's to the point now I'm immune to it. So I laugh. I'm like, okay, all right, so what do you want me to do? I feel like I'm on a freaking Monopoly game board. I'm the little man, and I keep getting to that point, and the game is going over and over and over, because obviously whoever's rolling, I'm still stuck in the same place. So the reason why I'm talking about the time frame here, because also I see a number. I've been seeing it for the past 4 or 5 years. First I thought I was crazy, because I was like, I keep seeing this number repeatedly. The number kind of resonates with the same month. And I'm like, all right, first I thought I was supposed to buy the number, okay? Y'all don't, I thought I was supposed to buy the number. You get the dream and the number. So I was like, I'm going to buy the number. I ain't winning. Even though it has come out a few times. And I'm like, all right, no, that's not. So finally I decided I'm going to tell somebody. Because after 2-3 years, you're like, all right, I told somebody, and they're like, oh, we see numbers too. This is what it means. I looked it up. It has a meaning. But now that I'm paying attention, it's going along with the same time frame. Now somebody made me recognize the other day that the number, because I said my issue is always from September to November. My number is 9/11. And I said, somebody said September podcast to November. That's what I started my podcast when I started talking, because one day I got so mad. I was so irritated this past September. When was it? On the September. And on the 11th, and I realized it was the date. I didn't even realize it, but I had this epiphany. I was mad. I was extreme. And I was like, wait a second. Today is September 11th. And I decided to start a new journey again. So somebody just made me realize, though, well, you said September 11th, so it's from September. 9/11 is from September to November. That is September 9th month and November 11th month.
Right.
And I know I'm not crazy, because my son just mentioned it yesterday. He was like, oh, we'll be all right, because you always from September to November, you always have the time, you always hit. And I was like, you recognize it too? And I've never mentioned it to my kids. But they was like, oh, we'll be all right. Around this time we always, and I'm like, see? So for your kids, and kids are smart. So they pick up. Yeah, they pick up on things. It's only my slow butt they pick up. But what do you think? I know that was long, but what do you have to say towards that? Because, people out there, I don't know if y'all got any, but I'm really kind of convinced at this point. I'm like, God, what are you trying to do? And maybe I wasn't supposed to tell Lord, maybe he's like, I'm about to slap her, because you were supposed to just figure it out yourself. But I'm like, I can't figure it out no more. And I need somebody to, so you tell me what you would think about that.
That's funny that y'all both just...
Yeah, we were talking about that. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you think.
Well, I do believe that the number 9 is very significant, because 3, 9, odd numbers for one are something very special to God for some odd reason. Don't know why, but they are. I think my favorite number is 5. But
wait, hold on. My homegirl said, look up the spiritual definition of numbers. Numbers are important and have meaning.
Thank you, Casey.
Cassie.
Yeah.
Cassie. Thank you, Cassie.
I was going to say that too. That's why I was saying 5 is my number. And like I said, 9, 3, like numbers, all numbers, most of them have meaning. And if you look it up in the spiritual, I used to see 11 all the time too. And I forgot because it's been like since my sophomore year.
I heard it's an angelic number.
It's an angelic number, but I kind of forgot the depths of
meaning,
it. But it is. But like I said, you said it's been happening for 5 years. Like, think about, like, sometimes we try to think so deep into it, like, and it's not really it's probably not even that deep. It's probably something
simple.
It's something so simple. And it's like, too, because it's become so nonchalant, and it's like a thing, like, and now everybody's just like, oh yeah, okay, this is just what we do. It's like God is probably really trying, he keep letting you hit the same place because maybe he's ready to do something new. And it's like you say you keep switching it up, but you think you're switching it up. It's
but
like somebody
really not.
Right, you think you're switching it up.
Back and words.
Right. It's like
that's what it is. You not figuring it out.
Oh my God.
Somebody else.
It's like, you know, like, and I know they was really going somewhere, but they really wasn't on Flintstones when they used to get the car thing and ride. I'm like, y'all
that's how much
y'all
not really.
He ain't doing it.
Right.
Right.
Moving. But, you know, and like I said, I don't want to take nothing from it because it could definitely be something that it's because most things that God like allow us to go to separately, sometimes it's for us to connect and sometimes it's for us to just resonate with him.
Right.
So that's something that he probably wants to reveal to you personally. So like I don't know the gist of it, but I do believe that he's allowing you to keep hitting this same place, same time of year because he wants to show you something and he wants to open you up to in a different way, but he wants you to basically first and foremost seek him, and sometimes that requires fasting. You know, like real legit fasting, like consecutively, and really wanting to know. You know, because it's something about those 3 months, right? Those 3 months. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's just a coincidence. It's just keep happening.
So I'm like, okay, now
Cassie has another input. She said, "Ask God to give you revelation."
Yeah.
That sounds personal.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna try it because I'm to the point now. I'm like, you know what? All right. You didn't show me every month. Now when the kids start recognizing it, I'm like, the kids recognizing it now.
Kids
I think the
everything.
dogs recognize it now. You know what I mean? The dogs like every year we don't get to go to the groomers around this time. I ain't get bathed in like 3
It's something
years.
about it.
So everybody recognizes it. I'm like, so we all like, come on, and God.
I think it's just situations that he keeps showing you. Just like I told you before, camera. You know, I was like dating, serial dater. Like, okay, this relationship done. You know, back into this, and I felt like I was nothing. I knew nothing about myself. Like I did not know, but I kept doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I felt so complacent in life. I would always tell my best friend, like, I feel like I need to be doing something, but I don't know what, and I can't figure it out. I can't pinpoint it. I don't know. I just feel like I hate what I'm doing. I hate the regular everyday, you know, jobs and stuff like that. However, I don't know what it is I should be doing. And the last breakup, I said, all right, Tasha, you gonna take, my mom always told me to just take time out for yourself, take time out. And I'm like, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? Just, or, you know, whatever. And this time I was like, you know what, Tasha, just take time out for yourself and just try to figure it out. Like, who are you? What do you want? What do you need? I think, you know what? Hold on, time's out. Time's out, guys. We're going to break real quick and see. Because I think that we still recording? We still okay. I was trying to see if I was like, this may have ran out. Okay. But take time out for yourself. And that's when I took the time out and I started doing things, you know, like with myself, with my girls. I did the Starburst mirror that I have and, you know, made it from scratch. Didn't even know I even knew how to, you know, I'm like, everybody asks me, I don't even know how to do stuff like that. But I started doing things around the house and doing more with my girls and even with friends, female friends and stuff like that. And it took a while, like maybe 2 years into just like being by myself to kind of like start to do things like, the podcast and, well, you know, all because of a man and, you know, just trying to do things that I feel like, well, this feels right. You know what I'm saying? Like, this feels right. Oh, you know, whatever. But had I not taken that time out and hit that last wall and took the time out, I would probably still be doing the same thing. And you said it's been 5 years. I've been doing the same thing year after year after year after year. Same situation. And I just told somebody, I don't know if it was James, but I told somebody just this week that every situation that end in the same way. it was a different situation, but the overall is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the same situation, and then it ends, and then and then it's like I said, dang Tasha, it can't be them only. It has to be you too. Right, like it's something, and that's when, like I said, when I took that time out, that's when I was able to realize, okay, boom, this is who I am. Yeah. This is what I like to do. This is okay. I got Miss Black Wall Street. I got the traveling pants. I got, I'm doing things. I had a book bag drive. I'm, doing this, doing that, and now I'm saying, like, I know if I had not taken that time out to kind of just figure it out, I would have not done any of that. True. So it's probably something that you need to figure out, but you need to kind of like she said, you could fast.
Yeah, and I remember God told me when I was talking to this guy, I didn't tell you guys that, but all my life, like, I've been labeled, from like disability. Like my mom was getting disability from me. I was never slow, but black people. Right. Sorry, mom, but I wasn't. I just was a very different child because for one, I wasn't raised with them. I was raised with my grandmother. But when I came into the household with my mom, she got married to my stepdad, and he had 2 kids. He had 4, but only 2 lived with us. My mom had a daughter. So I came into a family already that was already like operating. Right. So I just came in like, me. Right. But I was labeled from being like a disability, from being like nobody. I told you, me and my mom, I didn't go into detail because every time I try to tell people, like, I'll put it in a book one day, but every time I try to tell people like the depths of like me and my mom's relationship or how I was raised, they cry, they get emotional, and I feel like they paint this bad picture of my mom. And God is such a restorer where me and my mom are so close now. Like I never thought in a million years me and my mom would ever have a relationship. I used to I wish that I could be that girl. I used to get mad at my friends, my cousins. If you disrespect your parents, I'm like, bro, like stop talking to me. Because I wish that I could have a relationship with my mom. Your mom do anything for you. My mom provides, but my mom don't know me. Like I don't have no relationship with her. So stuff like that used to get to me. But God is such a good God. But anyways, I just, like I said, I was labeled from like being second. My mom always chose my sister over me. The one that was with her when I left, but she's always choose over me. They used to always pick on me. I had eczema growing up. Like just the things that you wouldn't think that a family or a mom would do, it happened to me. And I was just like, I always felt like the outcast. I was never picked as a pretty girl. I was always popular when it comes to being people want to be around me, but I never was told I was pretty. Like every now and then people say that, but all my friends and my siblings, they were the pretty ones. They were, they were getting all the attention. So I always labeled myself because of the labels that was put on me. I'm just gonna be second. So when I got to college and started to like always be like the second chick and everything, I'm like, God, what's going on? God said, no, it's not what you attract, it's what you accept. And that ring to me where it's like, a change has to be made because you only keep it's a pattern. It's been since you was young because first of all you already formed it in your head, and sometimes we form patterns without knowing it, or things, and we like, I don't even know how this happened, but for it to be happening that long, God is like, it's not even what's really going on, it's this, He wants you to see it from a different angle. Like you said, I understand, I say like people attract, like what's called like-minded people attract each other or something like that, which to a certain degree that it does. But when it comes to, like, for instance, when guys try to talk to me now, no matter how fine they are now, I'd be low-key tempted. I'd be like, they ain't fine, Jesus. And I'd be like, I'm cool, I'm nice. But if your mind not where mine's at, friends and all, like, if your mind is not where I am, I will love you. You will probably think, like, we here, we are. But I would never let certain people get too close to me because I'm learning that, for one, what I possess is very, very sacred. And two, I know that what you have can very well much so linger over here on me. And then two, we would never see eye to eye because you don't think how I think, in the sense of we're not here. We don't have to be here 24/7, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, for instance, me and my roommate, I told her, when we move with each other, like if it wasn't for me seeing how she was operating before we moved together, I would never move with her. But we had other friends that we were supposed to move with, and I love my girls, and I knew, okay, we might live together, whatever, but I'm like, they're not responsible. They, this and that and that, or it's just little things, and I'm like, bro, like maybe I just live on campus. But I'm like, no, I believe that God is calling me to live on campus, so I got to find somebody, but I ain't have to. God just, he aligned it. He aligned it, and we was already girls, but she was like, listen. I'm like, listen, bro, if we have to do this by ourselves, we're just gonna do it by ourselves. And it's like, and we just start praying and praying and praying. We talk to each other every day, call this office every day, making them lower the price, and they was like, we don't do that, we cannot. Jesus, let's pray. And day after day, I mean month to month, they lowered that price though. That's why I know God put us here and put us together on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So our minds are the same in a way. We're not all, because we have a little like any friendship does, but I always sometimes do feel like where I'm going in God. I feel like I don't want to tell it. I don't want to show it because I feel like I'm an outcast. I feel like people think I'm too deep, I'm like, but I can't help what God is doing in me, and sometimes I feel like some of my friends are not there yet, and I'm not mad at them because some of my other friends were there, and I wasn't there, so I'm like, it's okay, but I know that at the end of the day, that's my girl, and I know that we are here at the end of the day, we're there. But when God told me that, it's not about what you attract. It's not even about what you do. Like I always tell people when it comes to dressing, it's not what you wear, it's how you wear it.
I was going to mention that too. You are always decked out when I'm taking that. I'm like, decked out for the people that don't think that you can't be a Christian and be decked out at the same time. Yes, you can be decked out.
He said he's like, some stuff I'm not going to say because I can't say it. Well, he's not on camera anyways. But God already told me like what he's gonna do, and I didn't even think he was gonna use me when it comes to fashion, because I was like, I went to school to be a psychologist. Like I want to be a clinical psychologist, helping kids that went through things like me, and just being there for people that's just going through so much. Because I have such a big heart. I would give people my laugh. Like I have so many stories. You're like, Jazz, you are crazy. People told me I was dumb, I'm stupid. I was like, but God, he taught me. He started to teach me, so I learned how to do things. But yeah, for the most part, like I said, like God is gonna do. He can use anything, and he's starting to break the stigmas off of him. He's like, it's been too long. When people thought that I wouldn't do this, I can't do this. I'm ready to break that down. I'm ready to cut it off, and that's what he's doing in different areas. Like that's what I tell people. Don't ever get it twisted. Like God is holy. So nothing about God is going to change in the aspect of his character, but the way he operates, he's always doing a new thing. His word says, I'm doing a new thing. Like that's why it's there, because every time you read it, I'm doing a new thing. It's like he's not doing the same thing he was doing 30,000 years ago or whatever the case may be. That's why things have shifted in the way he operates. He told Noah, he said, I will never destroy the earth again. I will never kill this person again. But he said at the end of the day, he told Moses, stop talking. He said, stop talking to me because I'm holy. I'm just. I won't do it how I did it last time. But there would not be no evil or no this under me. It just can't be. But in that day, I don't know why it was so cruel, but it was not just God. Look what the Roman Empire, look what they were doing. The Romans, and they were just slaughtering people and killing people. But people want to blame God. But what about what they were doing? Look at what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Yes. You're amazing. Yes, I have to say you are amazing, and
like it's crazy
that we got to do this interview because
it's crazy.
Girl, you're gonna have me go home tonight praying.
Absolutely.
Oh, but I did want to answer your question before you guys say that. The one you said about religion. We didn't even answer that. You didn't answer it either.
Wait,
remember you asked us about like the Muslims and the people.
Somebody had made a comment.
My answer was always to that. I always believe that we're all connected together. I always say that we're all connected because I've actually done, like, kind of sit back and look at other people's religion. And I even said at one point I wanted to go to each, like, their church or how they, how they carry out their prayer and everything else. Just to kind of get a background, because I feel like if you can't sit there and talk about somebody else's religion unless you've actually kind of been around them at least. You know what I'm saying? Get some type of information from them. So I think, from my point of view, I think we're all connected. I always look at the Bible because I know a lot of people are big about the Bible. It's man-made. To me, it's written by somebody. I say it's always a rumor. If I said Tasha had on some pants, a shirt, and was by the tree, and somebody else was changing it and said, well, Tasha had on some blue pants, a sweater, and was by the bush. At the end of the day, for me, the story's still going to remain the same. It was still you. You had on some type of pants, some shirt, but you were still at some bush tree. It was there. The story's going to change hands when it goes down. So my thing is, for people that I think they look at the Bible like, oh, it's fake, it's not true. I'm like, regardless of whatever it is, yes, it has changed hands. Yes, they write it in many different forms. But if you really read into it, there's still a main solid purpose there. It started from a story, so that means something exists from it. Look at that. You know what I mean? So I think that it's for different religions, somebody along the way got different stories. And so what we feel is this way, so we're going to go this way. We feel, well, Tasha was by the tree with the jeans on, so we're going to go with them, and we're going to go that way. And this person said, well, I think they were sweatpants, and we believe, we're gonna go over here.
Yeah, right.
At the end of the day, I think it's all gonna come to we all
one.
believe in is one. That's how I look at it.
We have gotten a feedback. Someone said every religion has their own gods. We can't put people in a heaven or hell. We can't force people to believe in what they believe. A lot of religions call God lowercase g, but say the name of Jesus a lot. A lot of people don't believe in that name. So I don't know if sometimes I gotta keep on this too. Okay, yeah. So I guess she basically, the gist of what she's saying is you can't force people.
Of course.
But I think that
that's everybody's thing, you know, like that's and with me, like I'm never trying to. I'm just like I said, I'm solid.
you're just passionate about, and you know what.
I kind of I agree with you, because when people ask me, and see, I attend a 7-day Adventist church. My grandparents grew up as 7-day Adventists, raised my mom and everybody else as 7-day Adventists. My mother didn't really agree with it. I don't know whether she really agreed with it or was something that she wasn't fascinated about. She just said that it was just too long in church and everything else. And it was very strict. And so she went off on her own and decided to just go to like a Lutheran, which is close to Catholic. And that's how I grew up, you know, just being in church, dealing with that. It wasn't until going along, of course my story is a little different. And of course, from all because of a man, not only my dad, but I dated a pastor. Okay. That's how my life kind of did a whole switch around. I dated a pastor. And funny enough, the pastor was a 7-day Adventist. So I was like, well, wow, you know, my grandparents was, you know, and I always knew they lived a beautiful life, great life. So why not? Let me see what it's all about. So I still do attend a 7-day Adventist church. I love, you know, my members, whoever watching that, hey y'all, I love them, whatever, but I don't like to classify myself. When people ask me like, oh, so what religion are you? I'm like, I attend the 7-day Adventist church. You're spiritual? But no, I don't even say, I say I'm a member of Christ. Okay. That's what I told people. I'm like, I'm a member of Christ because I feel like I have a relationship with Christ. That's who it is. I don't, you know, I don't want to classify myself as, well, I'm a 7-day Adventist, whatever. Yeah, I believe in, like, I do my own research, so I'm like, okay, I do believe in the Sabbath now. It took me a while first. I'm like, who told you? But then looking at the information and going back, I'm like, you know what? It does make more sense. Saturday. Okay, I'll go to the 7-day Adventist church because it makes more sense that and when you really look into this, the 7-day and the Saturday and everything around it, okay, yeah, I'll go to church regardless. So does it make you bad if you go to church on a Sunday? No. It don't matter, because at the end of the day, if you're a true member of Christ, you don't care what your pastor doing or your deacon brother over here or sister, whatever, elder. You're still you have that relationship with God. So you can have your Sabbath could be on a Wednesday. Your Sabbath could be on a Tuesday. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So I try not to really connect myself with anybody specific, because to be honest with you, I still can attend a Sunday church. If somebody say come to our church on Wednesday, I'm gonna go, because I just want to feel the spiritual, you know what I'm saying, that relationship with God. So it doesn't matter. I can go to a Baptist church. I can go to a Pentecostal church. I can go anywhere, because I just want to feel. I can go to a Catholic church and sit up there and with I don't care. I'm having a girl. You don't understand. I just want that relationship with God. I don't care. So why they sitting up there holy and all that? I don't care. I just want the relationship with God. So it doesn't matter. So if I'm gonna get it in there, that's where I'm gonna go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. That's what I said. And I want, like I said, I always tell people, like, anything, like, I try to stray away from, like, I want to be Christian, because even under Christianity, there's so many denominations, there's so many, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, none of that really, even with the gospel, none of that really mattered. You know, it's what mattered was the heart of the message, you know, which is Christ is Lord, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, like I said, like, I want to let people know, like, as a disclaimer, like, I am not a person that's trying to force anybody to believe what I believe. Like, at the end of the day, like, that's your life. You know, I love you enough to tell you the truth, whether you take it or not. You know, so when people be like, you know, and y'all will be amazed at how many people, even if I don't say nothing, people can just hear that I'm a Christian or at my job, and they come for me. Not some people don't come at me disrespectful,
they come for you,
but they want to know.
They want to test you, because everybody is.
But that's a good thing though, because you know, for the people that do test, those are the ones that I think they really, really want to. They want to join that wall.
They want to,
but they want to find
because I'm
to say I'm right. I don't need to follow that wall. Like, I know it's right, but people are curious, and I think if everybody knows that there's a great way to live and a positive way to live,
That's why
not
when
walk
people say
walk?
when they're like, oh, that's the white man wrote the Bible. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, that's another.
They're like, the white man wrote the Bible. They just trying to enslave us. And I'm like, whoever wrote the Bible, can you show me, since you know so much about it, where is it in the Bible that is showing, like, okay, for me being who I am, how is Christ trying to basically make me a slave? Like, he told me I can do what I want to do. He says your choice. So he says slaves obey your masters. I have to think about it. The Bible is inspired by God, meaning like God. You ever been prophesied to? Spoken of, somebody told, like, you know, God, some people get so close to God, like Moses was. People can get so close to God where God, through them, God possessed them. And it's like they write and do and say whatever God tells them to say. You know what I'm saying? That's why some people are so prophetic. That's why so many people can, you know, heal the sick. And so many people, I watch deep stuff. Like my friends be like, girl, you're a little too deep. Because I watch stuff like with satanic stuff, like where people was in that stuff deep, but they came out and they always like Jesus. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, you can tell me oh God. Like, they was really in there. They know regions, and they talking about the things that they did. They had the signs, and they doing all they crying. And I'm like, I can feel the compassion, the empathy, because it's like, even though I wasn't a saintess, I was still working for the devil. Like, I didn't know Christ, so I was being muppet. Like, I was, the enemy was just leading me on to a life of destruction. Because there are two paths, whether people want to believe it or not. And like I said, God is saying basically, like, speak his truth. It doesn't matter who doesn't receive it. His word says that people are going to hear you and still not accept me, but you speak it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people saying like, oh, like at my job, they come for me like, okay, well, I can't prove it. I say, yeah, you can't prove a lot of stuff, but you still believe it. You know what I'm saying? You can't prove. I'm like, you drink liquor that says in spirit. So I mean, I don't understand. Hello. I just don't understand. I don't understand people's method. It's like people want to believe what they want to believe because, for one, people have been taught. It's not even about what they read. Most people say they read, they probably did a little work reading, but it's what they've been, the perception that people have said about it. Right. They're like, nah, because Christianity, you got to be perfect. In Christianity, I got to give up this. In Christianity, I got to do this. I say, but what y'all better realize is Christ saying, come to me how you are. God is not saying you're going to change tomorrow. There's so many people and there's so many of us, not everybody, because some people do drastically change. But there's people like me where I came to Christ, but I still thought I was gay for a while. Yes, I was. That's why I love homosexuals, because I'm not that. I don't believe in it. I don't believe that, you know, it's right, but I don't believe God hates them. I don't believe that God is like, oh, I don't like you because you're a homosexual, because I was one. You know what I'm saying? But because my love for him grew so strong, and because I know him to be Lord, that desire just shifted. He didn't say, you better stop being gay or you're not. No. I just started to, you know, really, and I love him more. Yeah. And I'm still enticed by studs. I've never been attracted to girly girls, but women that dress like guys. And I see them, I'm like, this girl, boy, whatever she is, you know. I'm like, you know, she's fine, Lord. And I tell him, like, God, like, she fine. Like, I don't think I can be around, like, her by myself. And I'll be just honest with God. I know he be laughing at me because I'm being honest. I'm talking to him and I'm telling him, Lord, can you keep me? Like, can you please keep me? Because I don't know what I'm capable of. Like, can you please keep me? Because I don't know what I'm capable of doing. Every time I thought I was strong enough to do something, I messed up and I went too far. And I don't want to keep doing that. So can you keep me? And he do. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, don't ever think that I'm trying to force people to believe what I'm saying, what I believe. Like I said, knowing him is just contagious. So, now sometimes I don't think I be speaking bold about him. I just think I just be talking about people. A lot of people like, no, you're just so passionate about what you believe. Like, it's just so, I feel it. I'm like, oh well, I'm glad maybe because it's just the spirit of God. But, and I just want to say the story, and then you guys can do what you do. But like, I'm in this thing called Toastmasters. I don't know if you've heard of it. I've done Toastmasters. Hello, I got my Toastmasters. Okay, never heard of it. Yeah, it's like what? Yeah, it's an organization where basically they train up, you know, world leaders to be speakers, professional speakers and leaders and stuff. But basically I'm in there and everything, and you know, I meet different people, whatever. It's a small club, you know. But I met this girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but I met her, and I didn't know her. I just was like, hey girl, you know, bye girl. It was cool. She was like how I speak and everything. She was like, oh yeah, let's speak. I said, no, all the time. You know, I had my days, but it was a hand by. And then one day God told me, he was like, get her a card. And I was tripping. I was like, I was home. I wasn't thinking about it. That's why I say I know it be God, because I know it ain't me. The devil ain't gonna tell me to do nothing, and I don't be thinking about stuff. And I was like, I be tripping. That's all I said. And then he's like, get her a card tomorrow. And I was like, get who a card? And then he said, man, I'm like, why would I get her a card? What I'm getting her a card for? What is it gonna say? Get her a goodwill card? Happy birthday? Thank you? What? I don't even know the girl. So I was like, when God gets silent, you just gotta obey. He just didn't say nothing else. So I just went to the store, got her a card. And when I got her this card, I came home and I said, well, God, since you told me to get this card, you gotta write what you want to write in it, because I don't know what to say. So, I always like stir myself up in God. I always like.
What kind of card did you get? Is it a plain card or just?
What kind of card? Girl, I don't remember. I think I got her a card. It's been a month ago, but I got her. I don't remember. I think thinking of you or something. Like one of those cards, like thinking of you or something. I think, but I don't know what I said. I don't know what it. I don't remember. But I know, when God just right through me to this day. I don't know what I wrote. And I do care, but I'm saying I don't really care because it wasn't about me. So I got it and I gave it to her the next day when I went there. I was like, hey girl, here you go. I don't think I'm weird, but she's like, oh, you're so sweet. I'm like, I am, but I don't want to feel weird. Cause I'm like, I was nervous because I'm learning to accept persecution and rejection like it ain't nothing. Like, that's fine. Like, I'm good. I took that L, but I took it for you. But I was nervous because I was like, God, what if she comes to me like, girl, I don't give you this about Jesus. I don't believe in that stuff. I was like, whatever. So, not even, I'm just getting adjusted. She tapped me on my shoulder. I'm like, girl, she bawling, like crying. And I'm like, everybody looking at me like, what you? I'm like, what you do? I'm like, look at her like, I'm so sorry. Like, if I said something disrespectful, please. I'm like, you okay? She was just crying. She was crying. And I was like, okay, sorry. But all she said, she mustered up the energy to just say, thank you. Like, it just was like, thank you. That was it. It was needed. And I was like, okay. I was like, no problem. So I was like, okay, God, what you say to my face? Because baby was crying. And the whole night she was just cheesing and smiling and crying, do the whole like the little whole thing, whatever. And I was just like, whatever. So afterwards, I went to her. I was like, you okay? And she was like, yes. So she never told me what really happened, but every week, it's once a week. But every week we kind of like talk more and more and more. And then like the next week she told me, she said, if I'm honest with you, can I have a moment? She was like, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. I don't. That's not my thing. I said, see, that's what I was scared of. I said, I'm so sorry. She didn't listen to me. I was like, okay. She was like, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. If I'm honest with you, you're such a sweet person, but I just always feel like people like you are kind of weird because you need this spiritual person to lead your life. And it just didn't sit right with me because I feel like we're in control of our own lives and everything. She was like, but something happening to me. It's something happening to me because what you wrote in that letter, you could never have known that because I don't know you. She was like, so she's crying again. And I'm like, what I said. I said, I really don't know. And she was like, you really know God. And she was like, I want to know your God.
Ooh. Yes, and, Lord Jesus. Yes. If y'all didn't hear any of that,
she said, I want to know your God. And I said,
y'all still at it? Yes, I can't.
Listen,
after this, we can wrap it up.
We're going to have a part 2, honey. Right. This is my guest. Okay, this is my guest. I'm just, I'm sorry.
And she said, I want to know your God. And she said, because, I got a letter right there. I got text messages, but I got a letter sitting on my thing right now. Because she just, and I've been telling her, I'm like, it's okay, because God's like, that man can't honor you, but never take that and make it about you, because it's about him. Right. So I'm like, God, I don't know what to do with this, because it's so, it happened to me. I don't brag about stuff, so many occasions, but I'm like, I don't want people to look at me as if I'm their God, or it's me. I'm like, baby, no, God loves you. God, it's God. Know him, But she was just like, but I want to know him, and everything. So we talk, and every week, like I said, every week she tell me more. She just tell me a little bit more, and I'm like, she said every day somebody's inviting me to their church. Every day somebody's always, and I was like, oh, I know, but I'm not gonna go because I don't like church. She was like, I'm not into that stuff. But she was like, I love people, I really do. But she was like, now I'm attending the church. She, I don't know everything. I said, you don't have to. You don't have to know everything. Right. I said, you just need to you open. She's like, I said, have you received the Holy Spirit yet? And have you been baptized? She was like, I think I received the Holy Spirit when that day gave me that card. I think that's when I received him. And I was like, okay, baby. But she just started to tell me a little bit more every week. And then one day we was talking, and she was just like, I pray with you. She was like, I never pray with anybody else but like the pastor. She was like, yes, it's so I can tell she's so new. She's so it's like it's different for her. And she was like, she said, I know I tell you, I don't text you a lot, but she said, I don't have the words to even tell you how grateful I am to have met you. And she always tell me, she's like, I'm like, what you looking for? She's like, I keep that card with me every day. Wow. I said, girl, why you keep this card? She's like,
it just blows me away that God can really be real and He can love me. Like, I just can't believe that. Like, I keep it with me every day. I read it every day. And, I just, little stuff like that is why I know too that God is real. Because I don't know what I said, just like at my job. I mean, basically everybody that I commune with are atheists, or they just don't believe, or they somewhat believe. Mostly everybody. And it's like everybody tends to say that about me in a sense. And even another girl, she don't believe in God. She's like, I don't believe in God, but she stay in my conversation. Like, she would miss orders and everything when I'm talking about it. And she just like, well, I don't believe in God like that, you know. But I'm like, I thought they didn't believe at all. You know, and I send her a message that when God put people in my heart, you know, when He's speaking through me, you know, I text him, I don't know what I say, but she said, I've been thinking about, she's atheist now, it's my job. She's like, I'm an atheist, but she's like, I don't know why, it's been bothering me, the message you sent me a couple of weeks ago. I was like, what I said? She's like, I don't remember it, but it just keep coming up in my head. She's like, get irritated. And I was like, well, what did I say? She's like, I don't remember, but it was something like, this, that, and third. So she went to it. She's like, this is what you said. And I read it, and I was like, oh, I said, okay, yeah, I don't know. She's like, yeah. It does bother me because, you know, my dad died, and he said God must be my father. You know, just kind of how I spoke to her. You know, and I was just like, you know, I really don't know.
You don't know what you said.
But see, God knows what He's doing to the people He wants to reach. He knows what He's doing. That's what I'm saying. Like, God is so intentional. Like, if you don't have to know Him, you don't have to like Him. He loves you. And He has open arms for you. And that's what, like I said, this is what the whole movement is about. Being bold and radical about what you believe in, and knowing that you don't have to be what the church say you have to be, because it is a church thing too, where no, you have to be covered up from the top of your head to this. No. I'm dope. I'm fly. I'm anointed. And I am still chosen by God, and I know Him to be Lord and Savior. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let Him speak through who I am. And that's just really, you know, what my movement is about.
How can people contact you? Like, if they want to contact you, let everybody know, like your Instagram, how to contact you. You know.
Okay, so my Instagram is Gisette_Levette. That is JAZZE_LAVVEET. Yeah, and that's really all. And I have YouTube, which is my name, Jasmane Symond. My Facebook is Jasmane Symond. Snapchat is I Love the Lord 24/7. But I'm not the typical Christian, so don't think that I'm just like a boring Christian or
I'm fly, y'all.
I don't say that. You know, I'm not literally one of the people that's just like, you know, I'm all sold out for Christ. But what I'm saying is, like, I feel like a lot of church people sometimes look down on it too because of how.
But you having fun. That's all right. It's not even having fun. She's just bold.
You know, and I know, and I just, you know, when that starts to bother me, I hear the Spirit of God tells me, just rest. You know, just rest. Because I believe people have, even not, because I don't believe, I tell people, I don't care if you're a bishop, a leader, I don't care who you are, a prophet, if you speak something over my life and it does not connect to the word of God, God says test every spirit.
Yes.
I don't receive everything from everybody.
That's right.
But it's things that God has confirmed, that certain people have spoken over me just by like connecting the dots or saying something or doing this or showing me this, where I know that was from God. Where God has showed me, you know, what He's going to do in the new season, not just through my life, but what He's going to do through other people's lives and how He's going to touch people through my life. And people that's even watching, God is going to touch you in such a supernatural way. Like, you may not believe, you may believe, or you may be rocky, but it's okay because He will meet you right where you are.
Absolutely.
He loves you. He loves you.
So I just want to just give a brief synopsis of how I think we did say a little bit, but it's crazy how with the podcast we started the Black-owned business, and like I said, Tasha found you online, and months ago we did the shout out for your business, and it's crazy. Here it is months later, no clue. Tasha didn't know you personally. She just found you.
You're like the celebrity right now. You were a little nervous. I was like, oh shoot, I'm excited because I'm meeting the Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Found her because you know I was really geeked up. I even had a vision the other day of myself. I had a vision we were doing a video together, girl, and I was walking out my booth. I did. You know how you have a vision? I was like, yeah, girl. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna be walking out with the Jesus on. I see the whole video. I see it, but that's part 2. That's part 2 coming out. I see the vision. But anyway, no, you know, it's just, it's awesome. Like, I seen it one time, and I mean, you know, I was like, dang, I don't want to like a creep, because you know how you be in people's stuff, but I was like, this one stuck with me. This one stuck with me, so I'm like, we gotta get her on. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Like, I have to, because I mean, and I think because I'm in my own walk, And just to see you, like I said again, to see you, and for everybody else out there, people just think Christians gotta be so boring and so, you know, and I think what's dope about you is the fact that, again, you're yourself, you know what I mean, but you're still careful, but you're yourself and you dope with it. And it doesn't matter what this person says or this person says, you're living your life through for Christ and how you feel, and you're passionate about it, and it doesn't matter. Everybody's gonna see it. Right. I seen it, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at you, I saw it, and I was like, I don't know what it is, but she dope. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I see you trying to do the rapping and everything. She was switching up all the rap songs and everything.
I can't rap or sing, but I just
listen.
Literally, I'm telling you, God be giving me like stuff to say, and I'm like, why you trying to be funny? Because, like, you know, I can't rap.
I need to do that because the trap music was taking over my life, y'all.
And I grew up on that. So when God give me like little funny stuff to say, I feel like, you know, I'm making something, like I said, I'm turning what the world has made something, and I'm turning it into something.
Turning it around.
And I'm like, because I love music, and, you know, and I'm not bad. I don't think you'll go to hell. People so deep when it comes to, oh, you're going to go to hell for this, you're going to hell. No, that's not it. You go to hell for literally not receiving Jesus as your Lord and Savior. But you don't go to hell for a lot of stuff, but what listening to other music do and watching certain stuff do, and I'm still a victim of it. I still do certain stuff. I'm honest. But what it does is it contaminates you. It's like if you really want to be, it does.
Dang it, that Chief Keef and stuff, y'all. Like, I used to love him,
and I used to like, I know what you talking about. I didn't even do it at that time. Like, I used to love so like, I was trying to make a little Christian version of that. I was like, I'm saying,
y'all know that, you know what I'm saying? I caught myself like, I be in it like, yo, pop up, and I be like, I told my kids, listen, do not. I had to yell on. I'm like, you know what? That's no more. No more Lil Uzi and none of the people in the car because I'm sitting there and I was doing real good at first, y'all. I'm telling y'all my business. But I'll be doing real good. I'll be like, Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Yes, Lord. You know, I'll be feeling it, you know? And then here come my son. Mom, let's listen to real quick. You know, this one, let's do it. Yo, I bump. And I'm in the side. And I'm like, what is he talking about? But then I catch my head like, yup.
Yeah.
Oh, and then now all of a sudden, then before you know it, I'm thinking about that song. I'm like, and then now I'm thinking, why am I thinking that my booty need to get a little bigger and stuff? And I'm like, why my booty ain't big enough?
See,
and
me with I'm being honest, like, I wasn't like out there doing like, you know, all that crazy stuff, but like sexual music does something to me. My friends like, Jazz, turn it off. Because if I try to play, I'm like, no, I'm just getting, you know, well, this is not recent, but like, you know, last year, for instance, I was like, no, I'm just trying to get dressed. I'll play that song. Then I'll play that song. You're a little more nastier. You get a little more nastier. And I'm like, yeah, just cut it off. Because last year, I was really walking in the spirit of full lust where anybody could have got it. I was like, Lord, who you took? I was like, him. To the point where it was so powerful. To the point it was so powerful. You know, I was like, God, like...
I'm like, listen, I'm only laughing because I deleted the Chief Keef out, right? I'm telling y'all, I've deleted all the hood music. I was like, that's it, because I was downloading behind my kids' back. I deleted them all out.
You say you was downloading?
I was down. My son will get in the car because, you know, his thing get automatic, you know, had Bluetooth, and then he be like, and he be like, wait, that's me. Ma, that's you? And I'm like, but I just was listening to it, and I like the beat. Because, you know, I thought I'm a producer in my other life. Somewhere in my other head, I'm a producer, so I do beats.
People don't realize that. I'm just saying this because it's true. I mean, I'm not knocking people that, you know, that these people are talented, but when people say the beats, it do be the beats, but the enemy knows how to.
No, because the word before he was
over the music,
and then the
God
word
made him the most beautiful instrument.
That's how you know Satan bad when it comes to music.
He is behind it. Like, I mean, that's why I say for us that believe, it's like, oh my God, like I be. Lord, please help me.
You be like, Lord, help me.
You know, help me, Lord. And I work out, so sometimes it's hard for me, but I'm like, God knows my heart. And I'm like, today I went to the gym, and I was like, I don't want to listen to that stuff because I felt the spirit of God just like, no, girl, like,
you know, Chief Keef got you going when you're in the gym. You be down,
all of them do.
All of them do. You be finding yourself like.
But that's what I'm saying. And people think like, oh, well, see, you see what I'm saying? They want to be a Christian. I can't even listen to that stuff. Nobody ain't saying you can't listen to it. Like, you can do what I'm saying. If you want to be real close, right with God, you want to you want things to break off for you. You buying this stuff, but how you gonna buy something that you entangled to? Like, you're a slave to. Like, how you gonna say,
like when I was saying God, no, I come against the spirit of lust. But I'm listening to all this sexual music.
Then I'm listening to Bryce and Chilla. I loaded him back up in there. I took him out and I slid him back in there. I went into the baby. And I'm like, oh my God. My son said, Mom, so you took these out. I'm like, Jesus, help me take these out. Take these out, Lord. Take these out. I know we rambling, but you know, we want to do a part 2 to this.
We gonna have to,
But thank you so much for, like, thank you so much for allowing us to do this. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully people like reach out to you, and I hope this is.
Make sure that's the Instagram you gave. That's the Jesus.
Is that your Jesus?
That's it.
You gave your Jasmine one.
Oh yeah, girl, I didn't give the Jesus one.
Cause you need to give the Jesus one.
Cause I be feeling like when they go there, they'll see it in the link. But you're right. So yeah, when you go to my other Instagram, it's Jesus We Ready. So it's this. Well, not with this stuff anyway. It's like Jesus We Ready. What is it? We Ready Jesus.
We're gonna look at it right now.
I be forgetting.
You know,
cause I was like, I don't want y'all to get off your thing. What is it? It's Jesus We Ready.
Okay, Jesus We Ready.
And like I said, it's it just started in a way. Like it just started a couple months ago. So I don't expect it to be like and for one, like I told God, I don't care if you never grow. It's not about me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's about you. So if this is not my angle, then God, guess what? That's fine. It was cute while it lasted, but I know what He told me.
Right.
So I know it do.
And it's dope. I love it.
Thank you so much.
My
shirt.
It's so much more that, like I said, it's coming. I'm just.
Right.
He's just
you put the other one in the room. I want to show them with the
she got
with hoodies and it had X in her on the back. That joint is so dope. I mean, we about to
show up now, but we've just been.
I know. This is so dope. I like the
this sweater right here,
and then it has
up for the sweat. Look at that. Come on, that's fly.
And
but like I said, I'm gonna get some sweaters, like some hoodies without this accent on the back. But this is for people that are just like literally like. I don't care. I've been touched by Jesus, and I want the world to know. And I feel like the movement it sparks up a conversation all the time. It sparks up people. It's like look, it says Jesus. And even if an atheist or even if anybody else that believes in any other religion, they see it. They ain't gotta say it. They're gonna say Jesus' name.
My son, he loves stuff
this
like this.
This is so dope, yeah.
And there's so much that God is gonna do with it. This is just like the basics. It's just the basics. And I'm like, it's really just an outward expression of what we believe. You know what I'm saying? But
this is dope.
It's more. It's more coming. So
yes, guys. So look out, and just like with the podcast, this is just the beginning.
Right.
Y'all stay tuned, keep with us. We are growing, we are expanding. So guys, thanks for everyone that's been supporting us. Thanks for everyone that's been rocking with us, listening, giving us feedback, giving us ideas. I appreciate it all. We're gonna sign off. So again, thanks for listening to the Traveling Pants of the Single Mom, and you guys have a good night. Thanks.